Here we go.
Put it on there.
Welcome back to the Demetrius Johnson Show. Jamie B. What's up, Jay?
Good morning.
I'll tell you, we got a great show going right now. We have, in the house, who do we have, Jamie?
We have State Rep Jamilah Nasheed, and we also have Kim Gardner, who will be on the ballot on the August 5th for State Rep of the 60th District.
And I really appreciate both of the ladies coming in and giving their views. State Representative Nasheed, you were about to comment on something that Ms. Gardner said.
No, I wasn't. I was about to talk to you about the policies and the issues that I've implemented as a state rep.
Okay, go ahead.
What I want to talk to you basically about, and the listening audience, is that in the state, I've learned that you have to be able to work with your colleagues, and you have to work across the aisles in order to get anything done. And I've been effective in doing that. Keep in mind, I was the only freshman legislator in the city of St. Louis to pass legislation under the conditions that the Democrats were in the House. I am the leader, the vice president of the Democratic Freshman Caucus. I am the vice president of the Women's Democratic Caucus. And I have been able to work and craft legislation that impacts the quality of life for African Americans, not just in the 60th District, but in the state of Missouri. Right now, we have approximately 180,000 people without health care. Jamilah Nasheed stood up on that floor when many African Americans were not around to even fight that fight. It was Jamilah Nasheed standing up against the Republican Party, saying enough is enough. We have to look out for the elderly, the children, and those that cannot provide health care for themselves. Right now, single mothers have to choose between child's care and dental care. As an elected official, as a state representative, I know that the Democrats will eventually take control of the House. And I will be in a really, really good position when I go back, because I will have more seniority on the budget than I had when I first went there. So my election is crucial, not to me. My election is crucial to the city of St. Louis and the millions that are without health care. Okay? When it comes to being able to get legislation passed, I have over 20 attorneys that's on the payroll for the state that works for me. This is not about litigation. This is about being able to be an effective leader to get legislation passed, and I've done just that.
If reelected on August 5th, what would be one of your main issues going back into the House saying, you know what, this is my experience now as a state rep. Coming back, I know what my community needs. What is going to be your first priority serving the 60th District?
One of my first priorities when it comes to bills, right now, the cost of living is steadily rising. We have seniors that are on fixed incomes, not adjustable, but fixed. Gas prices is steadily rising, and not to mention a gallon of milk is at $4 a gallon. I am appalled at the fact that the Republican Party has damaged this country in such a way, and this state in such a way, that when I go back, I'm going to push legislation to do away with sales tax on foods, because I believe that food is a necessity, and no one should have to pay sales tax on food. Right now, there is approximately 34 states that are without sales tax. And if I'm able, because I'm going back, but when I get there, and if I'm able to pass this legislation, this piece of legislation will save the average consumer $79 million.
Ms. Gardner, when you talk about, you hear she talk about her experience of lawyers. She got X amount of lawyers in working for her and able to get things done, understanding how to manipulate the parties and work with the parties together. How would you be an effective legislator and being able to accomplish some of the things that she says that she's been able to do?
Well, one of the things, I'm getting back to the original question that you asked me about crime, which is a serious problem in our community, and how I would be effective. My first thing, as a prosecutor, as an attorney, I would take my experience and to address a lot of kids are going into the criminal justice system, as we know. it's this gray period from 17 to 25 that they're too old to be in the juvenile system, but they're just right now entering into the criminal justice system. And so what I would do is, one of my things I would propose and work with other legislators to increase the juvenile age to 19. And that's been effective in other states, and that's one of the critical things in being effective in preventing kids from going into the criminal justice system and curtailing some of these violent crimes. And that's one thing. And when we talk about being effective and being a effective legislator, one of the things that I look at is working with everyone. My opponent, I'm not saying hasn't done some things that are good, but one of the things when you work with people, you have to work with all people, and that's what I would do. And one of the things that she has done, she has a reputation up in Jeff City for cussing people out on the floor. She's even went against her whole party and sided with the Republicans of waiving the campaign financing. And if she's for her party and works with her party, then that's something that the people of the city of St. Louis, the people of the Democratic Party is strongly against. But she was one of the few Democrats that voted with the Republicans to waive campaign finances, which is going to hurt our party in the long run. So if she works well with her party and works well with people, then we have to question some of her judgments when she's in Jeff City and to work with all people.
One other question, and I think we're going to have 2 minutes apiece after this. You talked about, you heard how State Representative Nasheed talked about how she has the ability, the relationships, and being in a community of, grassroots in the community, working. You're talking about the Randall family funeral home. That's the first thing you said when you came in. How does that translate over to what she sees as grassroots, working every day, and your family having their business? How would that correlate?
Well, as a business that's spanned 60 years in the 60th district, my family has been seeing the trials and tribulations of the area. We've seen the best of times, we've seen the worst of times. And my family is known as giving back to our community, and I've been raised to have that foundation of loving my community and being proud of my community. And I'm willing to work with anyone and everyone, and I work on all levels. I'm not just this person who's calling herself this attorney who's out here trying to run, but I am for my community. I've been in my community. I've been a part of my 21st Ward organization. I get out there. Like I said, I serve the community as a prosecutor, and I give my time when I can.
Well, I'm going to give each one of you 2 minutes. I'm going to start with you, State Representative Nasheed. Tell people, what do you want to do, and why it's important for them to re-elect you?
Well, it's clear. I've stood up for this community before I became an elected official, and I will continue to stand up. And I think it's appalling to my 60th district residents for individuals to come before them, and the only claim to fame is that my family owns a business in the community. It's ridiculous. I think that the 60th district voters, they're well informed. They know who stood up for them. And at the end of the day, I would be the next state representative re-elect here in the 60th district. Right now, we have to understand who's working in their best interests. And they understand just that. And not to say that and only leave with that, but to say that at a time when black leadership is being attacked on every front, I just don't understand why a young lady will allow for herself to be used by Mayor Slay and any other individuals that are against the black community. And one other thing, if you are so effective in the job that you're in, why isn't it that at a time when the police department was stealing tickets, ballpark tickets, why wasn't you able to prosecute them? If you can't be effective in the area in which you're in, how could you be effective on the state level? And you haven't been an effective district attorney, prosecuting attorney, because we have young men that are coming out every single day where the prosecuting attorney are not issuing warrants. The prosecuting attorney office is the issue, one of the issues that's hurting our community when it comes to crime. Prosecute those individuals. Learn your job, and then we'll talk about you becoming a state rep.
All right.
To answer some of the questions that the state representative has posed, my background is not just focusing on my family and focusing, and I'm about the community, and we need to address this crisis. And we want to talk about, I'm a prosecutor, and the job of the prosecutor's office, whatever the prosecutor's office they have their hierarchy. I am an assistant circuit attorney, so some of their views of how they, the higher up, deal with certain issues, that is not my problem. And what I want to do as a state representative, I want to bring everybody together. I want us to build a better relationship with the police department. We need to make sure we have confidence in our police department. We need to build our community's trust in the police department. And I'm against any rogue police officers committing, crimes on our citizens, taking the trust away from our citizens, making them, feel that the system is not fair for them. So I'm for encompassing everything. I'm for encompassing fairness in crime prevention, fairness in the criminal prosecution system, and I'm for zero tolerance for rogue cops who prey on our citizens of the city of St. Louis. And I will be effective as a state representative because I will use my experience to make sure we address this violent crime crisis, which has not been addressed, this educational crisis, which has not been addressed, this healthcare crisis, which has not been addressed by our state representative we have now. We need to change, and we need real solutions to the real problems, not these Band-Aid type approaches.
Well, ladies, let me say thank you very much for joining us, and I really do appreciate it. I'm sorry you ran out of time. We got to get you ladies on again prior to the election. I mean, I really, truly appreciate the passion that both of you ladies spoke with today, and thank you very much for joining us. And
thanks for having me, Demetrius, and thank you to the listening audience. Right. On August the 5th, get out to vote. Right. Jamilah Nasheed.
Thank you. Jamie, we got to get ready to get up on out of here. Jamie, before we get out of here,